Today we're going to talk about control of hormonal secretions. Hormone levels are very precisely regulated. We talked about that a little bit last time. Very specific. They go to their target cells, so they're very precisely regulated. Control mechanisms, so how these hormones are controlled. Release of tropic hormones from the hypothalamus. Control secretions of the anterior, the front pituitary. Your pituitary gland is often called the master gland. It's going to regulate a lot of different hormones. The nervous system itself can influence endocrine glands and what they produce. So your brain, the hypothalamus, goes to the pituitary. Your nervous system can direct information to many different parts or many different glands. And then other glands, certain glands are going to respond directly to changes in fluids. So, for example, sugar levels in your blood. That would be an example. Your pancreas is going to respond directly to the sugar levels that are present in your blood. Here just goes through, notice all of them end up at the target cells, and they're all going to produce an action, so they're going to produce their hormone. Here it might start in the brain, eventually it'll end up at an endocrine gland, and then the target cells. Here the nervous system directly goes straight to an endocrine gland, same results. And here the endocrine gland simply relies on what's found in specific fluids, like blood as an example. Negative feedback, we talked about this in the first chapter this year, how when something happens, negative feedback is when the opposite happens. So negative feedback, most common, we talked about most common in your body, it's most common in the endocrine system also. So in a negative feedback system, the gland is sensitive to concentration of the substance that it's looking for. When the concentration of that substance reaches a certain level, it's going to either have the gland secrete more if it's needed or less if it's not needed. So the example there, again, would be blood sugar level. I eat a bunch of candy. My blood sugar spikes. My pancreas is going to be sensitive to that concentration. The level is too high. It needs to produce more insulin. So then it will secrete more insulin. Opposite, blood sugar is too low. It's been a long time since I've eaten anything. My blood level is very low. It's going to inhibit my pancreas from secreting insulin. And here you can kind of see what actually happens. You know, this is the average, this is the target. Typically your hormone levels are going to fluctuate pretty close to where that target is. They're not going to stay perfectly online, but they're going to stay in a general area that is close to that target area.